Well, greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. Today's upload it's a very fascinating and terrifying, but really puts a perspective on things. Before we get into this upload, a couple links. As you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, and my merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. The links to Patreon and PayPal are in the description below. My merch displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters Volume 1, 2, and 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeffrey Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, the links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, if you'd really like to help this channel to continue to grow and go, just simply subscribe and click the like button. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's get on with today's upload. Shall we? Alright guys, today I want to talk about an email I received. And it's a case that I had talked about a while ago. And it's a very strange case. It's a case that occurred in 2002. Well before before YouTube, well before the missing person books, well before anything that we have now. But the case is so baffling that it still has perplexed people 20 years. Jeff, I've been subscribed to your channel for about a year now, and I love what you do. Thank you. Listen, I went to school with Christopher Tompkins. He went missing in 2002. I don't know if you've ever looked into this case, but if not, please check it out. Thanks. Keep fighting the good fight. Dark Winter, 82. Well, what I did then, I went over to the old filing cabinet, dug out the unsolved, unanswered disappearances and animal attacks, and I dug out the case. Now, it is a baffling case because there are so many what ifs, so many kind of, oh well, or what about this, those things. Now, funny thing is, this is the second time I'm recording this video because I had gotten so excited after a idea or theory popped into my head that when I went to render this video, I deleted it. I hit the wrong button. I was just pumped full of adrenaline. I'm pumped right now with adrenaline because I don't know. We'll get into it. Let's share the case. But man, and we'll look at all sides of it too. On January 25th, 2002, Christopher Tompkins went to work. 20 years old, Christopher was said to be a fairly religious young man, well liked, generally a happy guy. He lived with his mom in Georgia. At 8 a.m., he left his home, heading to his survey job. He parked his car near the office and rode with a coworker to the job site in Ellerslie, Georgia. There were 4 men working on the crew that day. They were working in a line formation, each man about 50 feet apart from the next. They broke for lunch at around noon and quickly went back to work on the line. At around 1 p.m., one of the co-workers was talking with Chris. When he turned his head to complete a task, he continued talking to Chris. When he had no response after a few moments, he looked back and saw no sign of him. At first, he thought maybe he had stepped away, went to the bathroom in the woods, but he called out to him for several times with no answer. Finally, he let the other guys know, and they walked around and looked for him. When they were at the work area looking for him, they found all of his tools lying there. Further investigation uncovered one of Christopher's boots hanging off the top of the nearby barbed wire fence. After not seeing Christopher anywhere, they called 911. Police refused to search until 24 hours had passed, since Christopher was legally an adult. Police searched the next day, uncovered a piece of fabric from Christopher's work pants and 12 cents. The media did not take up on this case well, and the family had to fight for exposure. The co-workers were never named suspect, although 2 had criminal past and 1 would go to prison shortly after. 1 also retained a lawyer the week after Christopher went missing. The police publicly stated that Chris likely just walked off and started a new life. 5 months after Christopher Tompkins disappeared, a local farmer found his other boot in a swampy part of land 900 yards from where he disappeared. Now, there's a lot wrong with that because I did some research on this, and I really did dig deep into this. Let's see. So, this is my what I shared in a video when I did the video back a while ago. Not the one that I deleted just 10 minutes ago, but the one that I did 2 years ago. Missing persons and abduction cases are quite perplexing. They often confound authorities, terrorize families, and mystify sleuths. In Georgia, one of the strangest missing person cases is that of Christopher Tompkins. Christopher disappeared at Ellerslie, Georgia, a small community in Harris County, not far from Columbus, on Highway 27. Tompkins had gotten a job at a survey company owned by a friend of his mom, Ann. He was working on Highway 85 with 4-man crew, January 25th, 2002. The site on Highway 85 where his crew was working was a wooded area. He left home at 8:10, rode to the site with the owner of the business. Morning went without incident. The crew broke for lunch at around 1:30. The 4 workers were walking near County Line and Warm Springs Road. The men were 50 feet apart, roughly. Christopher was at the rear. And next thing you knew, he was gone. According to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, Chris was wearing a pair of navy blue Dickie pants, a plaid jacket with a hood, gray skull cap. And he had a tattoo on his arm of an ice cream cone that had his name in it. And then where the ice cream would be on the cone, instead of an ice cream, there was a Joker's head. The spot where he disappeared, there was a barbed wire fence dividing the property. When co-workers searched for him. Now this is where things... This was written by some BS, whatever. But really, this is the how the day went down. After they realized he was gone, they started searching. They found one of his boots he had been wearing. It was next to the fence, not on the fence. Strangely enough, there was coins, 12 cents, lying on the ground, as well as his tools. And at 4:15, they had reported him that he disappeared to the local sheriffs, but they don't classify it as a missing persons until he or she has been gone for 24 hours. Now, when they started conducting the official investigation, that's when they found a pair of his pants torn on a barbed wire fence. 5 months after he disappeared, someone found his other boot 900 feet away, yada yada. Now, they mentioned that he had been acting odd, but his mom said that he was fine, no recollection. In fact, he was acting quite normal. Some baffling elements. Why was his shoes removed? Why were the coins and tools on the ground? If he was attacked by an animal, wouldn't there be any blood on the scene? No one hurt him. Then there's the theories here. There's a couple. Christopher walked off on his own accord. In that case, how did he disappear so fast? And why did he take his boots off? Christopher's co-workers did something to him. Or they know something. If that's the case, how did nobody else see anything? A wild animal, if that happened, didn't the workers hear it? And wouldn't there be blood? Dogman, werewolf, Bigfoot. Then this, aliens. An alien abduction would explain how he was flipped upside down, losing his boot on the fence and going upward and having the change fall out of his pocket. Now, he'd be 40. His poor mom, he'd be 41 this year. His poor mom has never had closure, which is very sad. It is. It's a tragedy. Now, 7 years later, May 26th, 2009, Georgia Bureau of Investigations were back out in that location. Why? Well, they were with volunteer firemen in the woods along 85 near Harris and Trope County line, near the Pine Mountain Extension. Some remains were found. A skull, cracked skull, some leg bones, pelvic bones, all looked as if been gnawed upon and cracked as if marrow was being removed, per Special Agent Rodney Wall of the GBI. Strange case. Very, very strange case. A case, though, that's reminiscent of another case that's just as strange. One that has baffled people for less time, but really almost makes that jigsaw puzzle piece fit together, my friends. Where Chris disappeared You might be. Well, he's on Route 27 by Route 85, and he's on County Line Road by Warm Springs Road. You're thinking, wow, No. Houses are few and far between. Yeah, there's some farmland, but the majority of the land is woods, pine, deep woods. Here's my theory. Now, this is where I read this one sentence during the initial recording of this video that I got so excited I deleted. And I'm going to share with you that sentence, and I'm going to give you my theory, and then I'm going to debunk a lot of the I guess maybe circumstantial evidence. I don't know what you want to call it, but I can debunk a lot of the other things around this case to make my theory fit. I'm not saying it's 100% the truth. I don't know. I wasn't there. But I think my theory makes a lot more sense. The simple line was this: aliens. An alien abduction would explain how he was flipped upside down, losing his boot on the fence going upward, and having his change fall. Nope, I don't think aliens. I think Dogman. Now, here's where I'm going to get into debunking certain things. 2002, early 2000s, late 90s. FUBU boots, Timberland boots, Timbos, were a fashion statement. They weren't like the Timberland Pro Maxes that we have out now that, are a regular work boot. These boots were like almost designed to leave untied, but tied really loose. Comfort. You could kind of like kick them off if you needed to. Here's what I think happened and why this case is reminiscent of the Tom Mezek case, my friends. Now, when I went up to Horicon, or Brant Lake as I like to call it. See, upstate New Yorkers, we call it what it is, Brant Lake. Horicon is a small little community off of Brant Lake. Brant Lake's huge. Now, when I went up there and I went up on the Lily Pond Road and I drove in and then I got out and I walked on Lily Pond Trail and I rounded that top of that pond and I came back down and I had something following me on both sides as I was coming through. And I'm thankful to the Great Spirit that I'm still here because I have no idea what it was. But I have no proof of what it was, but I have an idea of what it was, of what they were. As I'm driving home, I come up with this idea. Bam! Wait, guys, nobody's seen anything because he went up. I shared that with you guys. Well, that's what I think happened to Chris Tompkins. He was the last in line. I believe that he was acting strange. The guys at work said, hey, he was acting kind of weird. Mom, he was acting all right. Well, I think Chris might have seen the Dogman. Might have freaked him out, holding it inside. I can't talk about it. These guys will think I'm nuts. So he just stuffs it. Keeps quiet. Acts weird. Last in line. Walking. Dogman makes its chance. Takes its chance. Runs up. Bop! Muzzle on the throat. Right up the tree. Boo boo boot falls off. Dickie pants get ripped on the barbed wire. Change falls out of his pants. Tools fall out of his pants. There's no blood, no noise, no sighting. Why is there no blood? Because it's all up there on the trees. No skirmish marks on the ground. It was that quick and that simple. That's why nobody saw it. Right up the tree. Gone. Just like Tom. Why? What fits these two? Well, 50 feet away, 200 feet away. Multiple people. But if they were by themselves, I don't think it would have been so tactical. It would have been just raw. Tear apart, just raw. I really, honestly, I feel that my theory is a missing jigsaw puzzle. I don't know why. I feel it. It's the adrenaline that when I thought about that and I compare and I put the pieces together, I really got this like adrenaline rush. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. Now, here's the kicker. All right. That Dogman's up in the tree with Christopher Tompkins. Looking down, waiting. These guys are looking around. Chris, where are you? Hey. Not finding him. They leave. They call 911. The cops are like, we gotta wait. 24 hours, guys. 24 hours. He's an adult. They come back in 24 hours and they don't see hide or hair of him. Why? Even if they looked up, the Dogman was gone. Gave time for the Dogman to vamoose. As it was going that way, it dropped the boot. The boot fell off. Dogman's running. Boot falls off. 900 feet away. It makes sense to me. To me, it makes sense. Now, some people are going to be like, well, Jeff, two of the guys hired lawyers. Why'd they hire lawyers? Well, I'll tell you why. Because 2002 was a different time than 2022. Racism will always exist, unfortunately. And cops will always, unfortunately, stereotype people. It's just how they are. I don't know if it's their fault or if it's the training they're taught or what. But you're a man of color in Georgia with a criminal record and a guy just turned up missing. And they're looking at everybody and they just want answers, right? You've already got a criminal record. You already know how these guys work. You already know how the police work. You don't just have to be black to know how cops work. You can be white and they will pin anything on you if they can just to get it out of there. They just want to close that case and get a little notch on their little belt or whatever. That's why they hired a lawyer, because they didn't want to get screwed. Cannot blame them. You can't. So there's debunked that. You got the 200 feet, 50 feet. They really fit together, guys. Funny enough, crazy enough, the news doesn't mention 22 days prior, January 2nd and 3rd, 2002, Harris County, Georgia had a snowstorm. You can look it up. Type in weather, January 2002, Harris County, Georgia. It will show you pictures of that snowstorm. Warms up, the snow goes away. I mean, it's not like the Adirondacks or like, Michigan or Canada or whatever, where you get some real deep snow. Colorado stays for a day, maybe two, and then it's gone. But Dogman's hungry. Dogman was cold. Burned a lot of energy trying to stay warm and whatever. Easy pickings. This guy, Dogman's looking at this guy. This guy sees him. The Dogman's in his head going, I am hungry. This guy just saw me. I am a tactical predator. I'm an apex predator, and I am going to eat. Right up the tree, waited, looked. Chris! Gone. Makes sense to me. Maybe I'm just, I don't know, maybe I'm on another world. Maybe my aluminum foil hat's a little tight. But to me, it makes sense. To me, these two cases are hundreds and thousands of miles away. The Mesick and this Tompkins case. But you know what? There are pieces of each case that line up. They really line up. And unfortunately, I don't think they'll ever find his body. I mean, like 2009, like I said, woods along 85, Harris and Trope County, near County Line Road and Pine Mountain Extension. Remains found. Skull, cracked skull, leg bones, pelvic bones, all looked as if gnawed upon and marrow was removed. Like cracked. Like an anthropologist can look, an archaeologist can look and be like, oh, this is per Special Agent Rodney Wall of the GBI. I'm not saying I'm right, but I'm saying that I feel like I'm right. I had this feeling when I guys, I deleted the video. I got so excited. I'm probably not right, but you know what? I've felt like this a couple different times since I've been doing this. And when I get that feeling, I'm not going to say I'm always right on it, but it really, it makes sense to me, I guess. It makes sense. I want it to be right. But gosh darn it, I really think I am. I really, really friggin' do. I'm going to hit pause and I'm going to show you the geographics of where he disappeared. And you tell me. I mean, it fits. It fits, guys. I'm going crazy. The aluminum foil hat is a little tight today, boys and girls. Sorry. But for real, honestly, I think this theory makes more sense than any of the other theories. So let's check this out real quick. All right, guys. So what you are looking at is a map of Harris County, Georgia. County Line Road, Warm Springs Road, 27, 85. This is where, right here, Christopher Tompkins disappeared. You can see, you've got water, you've got woods all around. Dogman country, my friends. Dogman country. I don't know how else to. I mean, guys, look at this. Look at this location. It's insane. That's where he disappeared. It fits. To me, this fits. I don't like saying I feel good about it, but I feel like I may have answered. I mean, if the government ever admits these things exist to us, then it would be easier answering these problems and these mysteries, but they will never admit to it. So until then, we have to do this and say it's speculation. So on that fateful day of January 25th, 2002, Christopher Tompkins disappeared. A lot of speculation on what had happened to him. To me, this feels like the answer. There's so many similarities between the Mezit case and this case. It just makes sense to me. Do I think they will find his body? No. It may be in that swamp. The Dogman may have fed and strewn his body in that swamp. But I don't believe they will ever find his remains. Do I think that when I go back up there and I start looking in the trees, I'm going to find Tom Mezek? No. But wouldn't it be something? Wouldn't it be something if I found like the red and black checkered hat, his firearm, his walkie, something? If I do look up and I see one of those things, you bet your butt that I am flying to my car. I'd probably beat the Dogman in the 100-yard dash at that point. And I will be getting out of that area and contacting law enforcement. It's truly, truly a sad... These are sad cases. But I hope that Dark Winter 82 is watching and if he has contact with the family and they believe in Dogman and Bigfoot, maybe let him know, share the video. But I don't see any other answer, guys. Other than maybe he did fall through a portal. All right. I want to thank everybody for tuning in every day. You guys make this channel what it is. You guys, not me. I still would be doing this even if I didn't have people watching. I would still, just because it's so powerful. This is so just in my life now. I never would have thought a couple years ago when I started this that this would be me now. And I owe it all to you. So, thank you. And, wow. Just imagine if it's true. Just not true. Just imagine if it's just adrenaline crazy. And I'm going to start babbling like an idiot in a minute. But anyway, everyone, please, may the Great Spirit watch over us all. And may He guide us down that path that we call life. Late spring, early summer, whatever we're in right now, spring has sprung, my friends. If you go out in the woods, be safe, be smart, be safe, be aware. Not beware, but be aware. Till later on tonight.